Greetings to all of my brothers and sisters out there. How are you all? Whether you've been adopted, whether you've been scattered, whether you're natural, spiritual, whatever it may be, praises to the Most High. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button right there, as I always give a more in-depth study on the lessons that I do on this short exchange while I'm driving. You know, the question was asked, and I was thinking about it today. I was in a conversation with a group of individuals, and we were talking about the condition of Israel and those that are scattered. What happens? How do we come back together? So I want to talk about that for a second. I want to go back to Deuteronomy, the fourth chapter. The book of Deuteronomy is Moses talking, and in the first several chapters, he's giving, let's call it the state of the union, the state of Israel. He's given them a historical perspective of who they are, where they came from, where they were currently, and what was going to take place in the future. One of the things that Prophet Moses proclaimed was that the children of Israel were not going to be obedient in the fourth chapter. He said, you're not going to be obedient, and you're going to be scattered. You're going to be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And the reason why that you were going to be scattered is because you were not going to keep God's laws, statutes, and judgments that in verses 1 and 2 of that fourth chapter that he commanded us to do. That he said, God gave this to me for you to keep. Now, I'm going to stop there before I get into the heart of this. I want people to think. Because, I got a lot of first day. What I mean, those that observe Sunday as the Sabbath, which is not the Sabbath, but through indoctrination, that's what you got. But you are wakening up, and I'm glad to know that. I just want you to think for a minute when you read Deuteronomy, the fourth chapter, verse 1 and 2, if you do listen to this video. God is not going to put something in place, scatter people for not doing it, and then later on tell them that they don't have to do it anymore. So I hear some of my Israelite brothers and sisters, Christian brothers and sisters, teaching that who Israel is from a historical perspective, but yet you're telling them that the laws have been nailed to the cross. I want you to think for a second. God is not going to punish you for the lack of doing something, and then after you punish and scatter, oh, you don't have to do that no more. I just wanted to bring that out. Now, let me get back to the heart of the subject. What I'm bringing out in this video is that Moses told the children of Israel, you're going to be scattered in the fourth chapter. He even told them that you're gonna, all of these diseases and pestilence are going to come upon you because of your disobedience to the Most High's words, okay? So in conversation, there was a group of us, and we were talking about what takes away the curse from Israel as a nation. Israel as a nation cannot and will not come together in this time. The Most High brings Israel back together. Remember, Isaiah said that when he returns, he's going to take the two sticks, one being Judah, one Israel, and he's going to put them together, and he is going to gather us from the nations where we have been scattered. So he does it. So the question is, well, how do we get these curses, and how do we get these things removed from us? Well, in the same chapter, Deuteronomy 4 of Deuteronomy, the fourth chapter, Moses says, if you will obey God's voice, the Most High's voice, in the place where you have been scattered, he'll deliver you. He'll have mercy on you. So individually, and that individually is whether we do it personally. It starts with us personally. It starts with us being the heads of our family. It starts with us getting with other like-minded groups, whether we form a congregation, whether we form a camp or a church, whatever you want to call it, and you get among like believers and start to teach, because that was Israel's original job, was to teach the other nations. But remember, first we have to get understanding, and all of your getting, get understanding. And then when we get it, we have to teach our children in the place wherein we have been scattered. So the Most High said through the prophet Moses that if you would return back to him, even in the very place where you have been scattered, that he will have mercy on us. He would even hear us. Case in point, when Belshazzar or Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys, although they were under the Babylonian rule, they were in captivity. They often prayed to the Most High. Daniel went up and prayed 3 times a day facing Jerusalem. And he prayed to the Most High God. And in fact, even though they were in captivity, Daniel became a key figure in government, okay? Although in captivity. And that's like today. We are in captivity and we have jobs, we have professions, but we're in captivity because we're not in a society where the ruling government is the laws, statutes of the Most High. We're coming there during the millennium, during the 7,000 year day, or during that millennium, when the Most High returns, according to Zechariah the 14th chapter. When the Most High returns, that's that stone that struck the statue in the foot and disintegrated all of the governments that Nebuchadnezzar saw in his dream. That's the Messiah. When he returns, then he will set up a kingdom on earth for 1,000 years. But in the meantime, as individuals, to have the curses removed from us, we must return to the Most High. We have to get into his word, into his Torah. We got to study the laws, the statutes. We got to keep God's feast days according to Leviticus the 23rd chapter. We still have to eat clean according to Leviticus the 11th chapter. We still have to keep the commandments of the Most High that was written by his own finger according to Exodus the 20th chapter. Remember the plan of salvation, which is his feast days. They all lead to something. All of the feast days are in sequential order, and they tell a story. They lead us to the last day, the 8th day. So that's in Leviticus the 23rd chapter. So we as individuals, we that are Israelites and those that want to join this body, this group of saints who are trying to do the will of the Most High, we have to get back to law. We have to get back to covenant, okay? Remember Exodus 12 and 49, because somebody's going to listen to this and they're going to say, well, everybody can't have this opportunity. Well, that's not scripture. You won't find that nowhere in scripture. You won't find that teaching anywhere in scripture. When the children of Israel were coming out of Egypt, and they were given the commandment on how the instructions of the Passover and the feast days. Look over in Exodus the 12th chapter, verse 49. The Most High said that the same law